Hey guys, this is Patricia from Yarny Cat Crochet, and this is a little crocheting chat. A silly Yarny Sisters Socktacular Saturday, Spring Cal 2026 chat. We're just gonna put it all in there. So for the Spring Cal, just to get started, for my giveaway, you have to make 3 eggs if you want to be entered to get that hanked up yarn that is really cool. Nice yarn. It's not this yarn. This is blanket yarn, Bernat blanket yarn. Or no, mine is actually loops and threads blanket yarn, but it's the same as Bernat, sort of. But anyway, I made 3 little eggs. I think I just made 3. So technically I did my own challenge, but my challenge don't count towards, I have to do 3 other people's challenges. But aren't they super, super cute? I just love them so much. It would be so cute in a basket. But anyway, I thought I'd do one while we were talking, just to show you how easy it is and, give you further visual aid. I have a tutorial. It's a really old one, not a very good tutorial because I'm not good at tutorials. But it suffices for what you have to do. I made those eggs from watching that tutorial. So the tutorial is usable. Just don't judge me on the quality because I don't do good on tutorials, and I found that out, and so I don't make them anymore, but I still have that tutorial for you. But anyway, let's see how many times I can say tutorial in the same video. So Sam from Memphis Makes also doing eggs. Hers hang from a tree, but that was just something she did, so you don't really have to do the hanging part. But she has a linked tutorial. It's not her tutorial, it's somebody else's, but she linked it to her video. So go check Sam at Memphis Makes video out. I will put her link in the description. Anybody I talk about that I reference, I will put them in the description. But see this, it's like an ombre. It's got green at the top. Easter egg. That was from the tutorial she linked. And so that's my first one. I don't know how many of them I have to make for her. I don't remember her saying. But Missi said she thinks it was 6. So I've only got 1 done. So I have to do like 5 more. But look how huge that is. Mine turned out to be a duck egg. Look how, compared to the chicken. But very, very pretty. And it's out of this Red Heart Super Saver stripes in the colorway Retro Stripe. So these are going to make some beautiful eggs. And I know I'll get at least 6 out of it. I know I'll get more. If I was going to make that many, I'd get more than that out of one of these. Thank God I still had some left. I thought I gave it all away. But I didn't. And it's perfect for these eggs, as she pointed out in her video. And you really should go check out her video because she has Easter egg trees, and they are awesome. And it would be really easy for you to get a hold of a branch or a craft branch from the craft store and make your own. So, so first we're going to do an egg from the tutorial, from my memory. Because I don't want to have the tutorial up while I'm trying to do this and talk with you guys. So we went out, excuse my hair, it's all falling out, so it's a mess. But anyway, we went out in the sunshine, and I got sick because of the bright sunshine. I really need to get some sunglasses, but gave me a little bit of a headache and got nauseous a little bit, so I'm trying to stay out of the sun for a little bit. I did get some sun. So with this egg, I'll talk you through the beginning part. You make a magic ring. And in the video, I didn't know how to make a magic ring, but I was making one, and I didn't realize that I just was mimicking what I had saw. I never really watched tutorial. I just see people do it, and I was like, well, I'll see if I can, and I didn't. And what I didn't know was I was actually doing it. And my mom got me this tool, very cool foam tool that I wish I could. I think it's Kelly Dream. Kelly Dream. Kelli. But anyway, it's a magic circle tool or magic ring. And it has notches in the foam that allow you to do this same thing, but it's hard to see. This is not a tutorial, so don't complain about I couldn't see what you were doing. I'm just talking you through it right now. You can go back and watch the tutorial that I actually made, and that'll help you. But if you know how to do a magic ring, you just make your magic ring, and I always do a little, wait a minute, did I get caught? Oh, I gotta do it again. I always do a little slip stitch or a chain the first, and then hold that little string. As long as I keep holding the string to keep the circle open and the way it needs to be pointed, it works out. And then you take your working yarn and then you work a single crochet. And in that magic ring, you're going to want to make 6 single crochets. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can tell you this pattern because it's a pattern that I made, so I'm not copyrighting anybody. If you're using somebody else's pattern, you cannot make a tutorial. Those of y'all that don't have a channel yet but are thinking about it, you can't make a tutorial on somebody else's pattern without their permission, and most of the time they won't give you permission. If you want to show my pattern, making an egg, it's not like it's a high dollar or ingenious pattern, so tutorial away. If you're good at tutorials, then you can share everybody how to make eggs. And sorry, my phone is buzzing, and I don't know where I set it, but I felt it buzzing. I don't really want anybody to call me while I'm, oh, there it is, while I'm trying to film. So just making sure that it's not my mom, because that would be important. Let's see. But anyway, yeah, I don't care if you share my egg pattern. Spread the joy. But it is my original. So I can talk you through this pattern. So 6 single crochets, and then you close your loop. Now, I don't need a stitch marker, but if you're new and you wanted to add a stitch marker, you would do it at this stage pretty much. So you take and you slip stitch into the very first single crochet you made, and that closes off your circle. Chain 1, and then you want to do 2 double crochets into each hole, so you'll end up having 12 single crochets. You'll end up having 12 single crochets, and if you wanted to, after you made that first single crochet in the very first stitch, you could put you a little, sorry, it is not working. See, my fingers, because of my rheumatoid arthritis, it's hard for me to manipulate things, especially if I'm like nervous because I'm talking. Anyway, so I got that little stitch marker in that first one. It is kind of hard to see on this fuzzy yarn where the beginning stitch is. You gotta kind of have to feel for it because it's just really hard to see. So if you're new, get your stitch marker, save you some trouble. Put it in that first stitch that you made, and then do 2 double crochet or single crochets into every hole. You'd end up with a really big egg if you did double crochet, and also holes that stuffing will come out of. You don't want that. So anyway, I am crocheting in that extra piece of beginning string. Now you can clip that string down. I'm just going to use it as part of the stuffing for the egg. I'm just going to stuff it inside the egg. And you could turn it the right side out when it starts to curl. Just poke it where it goes out, right? Let's see, did I do 2 in that one? I was talking to you and was not paying attention. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me count this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So, and then you're back at your little stitch marker. And then you want to slip stitch into that first single crochet and then chain up 1. And now that you've got your 12 single crochets, sorry about that, just keeps buzzing. Now you just have to, for 3 rounds, just single crochet into every stitch, which I'd put the stitch marker back in, but I don't need to. But at this point, after you make your first single crochet, you put the stitch marker in, and that marks the beginning of the round. If, you know, you need that, I can kind of feel for the hole, and I don't really have an issue. You'll hear Kage running around with his little bell. He's playing with his toys on the floor. He's been kind of wild lately, and I wonder if it's not just because it's spring, you know. But he's having a blast, having the zoomies. Sweet little guy. But anyway, you just single crochet all the way around. And I found it, yeah. See, that's it. I mean, the stitch marker would help anybody. Now, in the video, I say use, I think I said 5.5. I'm actually using a 4 right now because I wanted to see how much smaller it would make it. And I don't know if I was using a 4 on those other ones or not, but we'll see once we get to, you know, once we get it made up. But I just wanted to show you how easy it was. So I'm on my second single crochet all the way around row. You have to do 3 of those. That makes up the middle of your egg. What we just did was either the top or the bottom, depending on which side you turn it when you turn it up. But now we're doing the middle, and I'm on the second row of single crochets because you have to do 3. So you're see 1, 2, 3. You're on the 4th round at this point, and the 5th round will be the last row of single crochets that you do all the way around. And if that string gets to bothering you, you can just clip it after you've tightened it really well, because that closes up your magic circle. But in this, I found in this blanket yarn, once you've tightened it once, it pretty much doesn't come undone. So it's a non-issue. Okay, now I'm on the last regular round of just single crochets all the way around. It works up really fast, like in less than 10 minutes, I would say you can have your egg. It may take you a little bit more with the stuffing. I'm not real sure. It depends on how fast a crocheter you are. And don't go away because I have more to talk about as far as the socks and the crochet along in the giveaway. So if you don't know about the giveaway, go back to my first spring 2026 video. I'm just going to go ahead and stuff this in because it is bothering me. And find out all the rules and the details about the giveaway because I don't want to go through it every time I have a video. And if you look in that video's description, you will see everybody who is joining and what you need to know about all that. But I'm having a giveaway for some hanks of yarn that are really, really pretty and inexpensive. So if you want to join in for that, you have to make at least three of my crocheted eggs. There, that makes that row. Yeah, this is going to be a lot smaller. It's going to be tinier because I'm using a 4 needle, so you can make all different kinds just by switching up your needles. So I'm pretty sure this was a 5.5, and I know this is a 4 because it's a Woobles crochet hook, and they're all 4s. But anyway, so now that I've gotten the 3 middle rows of the egg, you chain up 1, and this will be, I'm going to take my glasses off for a second because they're bothering me. This will be the, where you start to decrease. So on the very first, after you chain up 1, you're going to do a decrease. So you go into the first hole, pull up a loop, go into the second hole, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and chain through all 3. Or chain through, pull through all 3. And then you want to crochet 3. 1, 2, 3. So in the next 3 holes, you crochet 1 single crochet in the next 3 holes. And then you're going to do another decrease. So you go through the hole, pull up a loop, you have 2 loops on your hook. You go through the next hole, you pull up a loop, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then you want to single crochet 3. 1 in the next one, 1 in the next one, and then we're at the very end, and there's 2 more holes if you followed it correctly. If there's not, do what you gotta do to make it work, because it's not a, you can sometimes fudge if you need to, but it so happens I followed it correctly, and there's 2 holes. So I go through, pull up a loop, go through the next hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 3. You finished that row, so you slip stitch into the first decrease that you did, and that made your egg start to close up on the top. And at this point, you're going to stuff your egg. So I have some stuffing down here. It's so cute. I'm going to have a tiny one. See, it's just all supposed to be fun and springy, no stress. And if you got, like, I have some of these. As a matter of fact, I'll use it right now just to prove my point. If you got little ends and you don't need to use them for anything, you could use them for stuffing. And since they're fluffy, just like the yarn that you use to make the egg, you just stuff them right down in there. And they'll, I might need a little bit more stuffing, which I'm gonna take a little bit, just stuff that down in there. This would be perfect for the little ones, and they're not really going to be playing with actual eggs and stuff. You can make them a bunch of these and throw them around the living room and let them crawl around and have fun and have an Easter egg hunt without, having to mess with the eggs. Now, something I did that I shouldn't have done was stuff that loop down in there. This one, the one I need to finish crocheting with. There we go, got it. So anyway, now that you've stuffed it pretty good, you're gonna close it up. And so on this one, it's just decrease stitches. So you pull up a loop, go through the next hole, pull up a loop. You got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And you're gonna do that all the way to the beginning again. And I'm not sure, but I think you do it 3 times, but we'll see. I've just done it twice. Yarn over, well, not yarn over, go through the hole, pull up a loop, go through the hole, pull up another loop. You have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull up through all 3. And yeah, I can do it one more time. So 3 times you decrease. Like I said, if this is not clear enough for you, just go back to the tutorial, which in my opinion isn't super clear either, but it's better. Okay, and I had room. I either miscalculated or, well, that would be it. I miscalculated because it looks like I have one more stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a single crochet in that stitch. Like I said, it's not a big deal. Just do what you have to make it. And then you go into the first decrease and slip stitch, and you're done. Okay, so now you have about 3 or 4 little holes there on the top. So what I do is, now where did I put my bag? There it is. I'm gonna get my scissors out of it. I really love this tiny one. It's so exciting. Yay, my scissors. Okay. So you take and you cut yourself a long enough piece. It doesn't have to be super long. Oh, that's what I don't like about this yarn. It fuzzes off the end, but it's okay. Once you've worked it up and you hide your ends, it's no big deal anyway. Okay, and then get yourself a, where is that tube? I have a tube of, I hope it's in here, because that would be embarrassing. It's in the bottom. So you take, I have a little test tube full of needles. Isn't that cute? Perfect. I think my mom got me that. And then every Woobles kit you get comes with another needle, so I got lots of needles. I all the time lose them. And stitch markers. I'm a loser, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this big, look how many eggs you would get out of one of these. And I know you pay anywhere from $6.99 to $8.99 depending on where you go, which brand you get, or if you got a sale. You might have got them for really cheap. But you are gonna have tons of blanket yarn left over. Consider making yourself a loaf cat. And you know who is the expert? So sorry about my hair, y'all. You know who is the expert on loaf cats? Is Missi. Go find her channel in Missi's Yarniverse More. I'll link it in the description. She makes these gorgeous loaf cats for hospice, and she knows the good tutorial for that. But anyway, just thread your blanket yarn onto your needle. I almost lost the egg. Okay. Oh, I didn't do something first. Hold on. So you want to finish off that stitch. So you just pull on your loop till the end of your yarn goes all the way through, and then just throw the fuzzies away. Okay, so you got that little hole basically right there. That's what we're going to close up. So you take the yarn and you thread it onto your needle, and you I always try and go into the very next hole from the end of the yarn, and I go from the inside to the outside. Now this is just my way. Close it however you want, but that's how I feel like it does the best tightening pull. And then you go into the next stitch from the outside up through the hole and pull up, and then you go down through the hole and into the next stitch and come out, and then you go from the outside in and up through the hole and pull out. And if you do it this way, I think there's one more. I could be wrong. Well, anyway, I don't guess it matters how many times, but you don't want to do it like a lot in a circle before you pull it tight, because it won't pull tight. But anyway, just make sure it's threaded through all the holes, and then pull tight. Hold this kind of blanket yarn, you're going to want to give it a little support when you're pulling it, so it doesn't like yank all the yarn out. But see how it's got a whole perfect out the middle there. Okay, then you want to take this yarn and you want to weave it through, find a hole, preferably not the one you just come out of, because it'll just undo your last stitch. But anyway, go down through the top and see how it come out that side. Okay, you want to gently pull your yarn through, because you don't want your top collapsing down in because you pulled it down too hard. So you gently just pull it until it is in all the way and it's not sticking up. See, I didn't yank on it because it would just pull, and I would demonstrate, but I don't want to mess up this egg. But anyway, now you got that string out the side, and you could weave that string in and out the best you could, but you really don't have to. You just find your scissors again, which I shouldn't have set them back in the bag and down knowing that I needed them. I'm going to take this needle and put it back in my tube after I found the scissors. Sorry, oh, well, here's the tube. We'll take care of that first. Got it in there. Okay, now find those scissors. I cannot believe that I did that. Oh, are they in the middle? Look, I got all this cotton yarn in here. It's just getting all caught up. Okay, so you want to take where your, I'm going to shape it a little bit. You're going to take where your yarn is coming out, and you want to get as close as possible to the egg without cutting the stitches on the egg. You just want to cut the string off. You get it real close. And then, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little tuft of that string coming out. You just take your needle and poke it in, and it's in, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And look how cute. I'm geeking out so much. I love it. I love that I created it. I love that if you guys want to, you can share it wherever. It's not a copyrighted pattern. It's not a big, special, important pattern, but it's going to make a lot of people happy. Maybe a lot of your little ones happy. There's no parts here to, you know, get choked on, unless I could get that whole thing in their mouth. But anyway, super cute, right? And look, so up your needle size and you can get a bigger egg. You don't want to up too far because then the stitches will be too loose and your stuffing will come out. But experiment. Maybe try a 6 and see if it works. But remember, it has to be close enough for the stuffing to come out. But anyway, 5.54. Isn't that cute? Tiny egg. And I know people that make them in embroidery thread that make them really tiny. So that's super cute. But anyway, those are those eggs. And then, you know, I showed you Sam's egg that I made. And her tutorial will be the link that she used. I'm going to save that for some more stuffing. The link that she used for her egg will be in her description box on her spring, hashtag SpringCal2026. On that video, check for her video. You'll see the tutorial that she used to make her egg. Her eggs look better than mine. Mine's a little wonky, but it does look like a duck egg. But I have to make 6 more of those, and I use the Red Heart Super Saver Retro Stripes. But you could use any kind of yarn, any variegated yarn. My blanket yarn was flower. It has the pink and the green. It's supposed to be flower blooms. And so it made a bird egg. I liken it to a robin's blue speckled egg, you know. And then Sam's made what looks like Easter eggs, you know, like you dyed them into the different colors, you know. So cool. And speaking of eggs, my husband was at the grocery store the other day. And sometimes he goes for me because I just, you know, sometimes I've lost so much steam I can't. So he'll pick up things that we need. And he come back out to the car, and there was an egg sitting on the car. And I'm so excited about it because of what's inside of it. I'm guessing this was either a Girl Scout troop or a church group, or maybe just a little girl that wants to spread a little joy in the world, leaving little joy bombs all over people's cars. But anyway, you guys, it's a Jesus egg, and it has a little note in it. So cool. And it says, Jesus loves you. Isn't that sweet? And then, inside the egg is a little Jesus. Isn't he cool? He's got on a little sash that says, Jesus loves you. Jesus hearts you. Isn't that super cute? I've seen these on TV. People leave them like in bus stations and stuff all over the place, and they're little rubber, kind of like an eraser, which is kind of neat to think about. Jesus erases all your sins. But anyway, I think it's so cool. I geeked out so much when my husband showed me. I'm like, who gave you an egg? You know, he's like, I don't know. It was just on the car. And I think that is awesome. An awesome little joy bomb. So easy. You could get a pack of these eggs on Amazon, or you could get them at the dollar store or whatever. Write you a little note. Maybe you make a little amigurumi heart, or a butterfly or something. It doesn't have to be a Jesus egg, but I really love this idea. This really brightened my day. I had a rough day yesterday. My son got married in Japan, and to his fiance, my daughter-in-law. I always have called her my daughter-in-law because I knew she was going to be. But they're going to have a marriage here next year, a marriage ceremony. But, you know, the real one, the first one, they had yesterday in Japan, and I couldn't be there, so I was very depressed. I still am, but I know that's just the way it needed to be. They have a baby coming soon, and he already proposed to her before he knew she was pregnant. He wants to marry her. It's not because of the baby, but I feel like I'm missing everything. So, yeah, I was in the deep despair, and this brought me out of it. Remember when I say, make sure you to give somebody your best smile because you don't know what they've been through? This girl didn't know. She didn't know what we'd been through. And she probably put them on everybody's car. Yes, I know. But to me, it wasn't random. And I really appreciated it. And it just brighten my day. Imagine what you could do with little random acts of kindness like that. It means a lot. It does. But anyway, so I have all these cute eggs around my house around Easter. Isn't that awesome? But anyway, so there's that. And I wanted to talk about the Silly Yarny Sisters Socktacular Saturday. It is Saturday as I'm recording this, and you probably see it today. I knit. I crochet mostly, but I also knit. Like I knitted this scarf, which reminds me so much of the flag. Well, it is Americana yarn from Red Heart, and it has those speckles. But you see it also kind of makes a diamond pattern. I don't know if you can see that. The white kind of makes a diamond pattern. So I think that would be really cool. But the stripes, you know, it only goes that far. So if you were doing it in a long blanket, I don't think you would see it as well. I'd like to try that out though, because I love this Red Heart Americana. I might get a bunch of it and just try a blanket and see what happens. But I really like how it worked up in scarf length. I made it while I was watching the Olympics, and it was cold today, so I decided to wear it when we were out with my jacket. But anyway, so long story short, it's already 33 minutes. I crochet, and I knit as a extra thing that I enjoy to do. So I got some, I want to join in the Silly Yarny Sisters Socktacular Saturday, or hashtag SYSS, SYSS. And I got some fruit sock yarn from Premier. That's the banana. It came in the mail today, and I'm like so geeked out about it, or yesterday actually. And it has a little bit of a stretch, but it's hard for you to see, but it stretches a little. It has, it's a super fine one, and it funny enough, is lot 911. Color is banana, and it says made in Turkey. And there's a pattern you can get online to find. Okay, here it is. 93% acrylic, 7% PBT, which I'm guessing is the elasticity of the sock. You know, it's a sock yarn. And there's a cute picture of a sock that somebody made with that. I think I'm going to make a tube sock to begin with, just an ankle length one, just so that I get the hang of the dimension. And then, and I'm going to do knit 2, purl 2, so that you can, or knit one, purl two, or whatever, so you can do the cuff. So there'll be a cuff and just the tube sock down to the toe. And I ordered some Addy Turbo sock needles, and they're coming. And I know everybody thinks Addy the machine, but no, they also make the needles, and they probably make more. I just don't know. But anyway, I got two. Missi told me to, Missi from Missi's Yarniverse and More, told me to get 2 balls so you would have enough for a pair of socks, and then you'll maybe have some left over, which is fine. You could use those for a heel or a toe. When I do finally learn to do the heel, I am going to learn. Maybe I'll have some of this left over to put a heel on, you know, a different color sock, because it's kind of fun to have different colored heels and toes. But these are just going to be banana. Banana colored. But that came in the mail. I got these from Amazon. I paid a little bit more than I should, but I wanted the sock yarn and I wanted it now. So that's how I got that. And the needles are coming today. I'll show you those in another video. And there is a video, I'll link to that, of the lady trying them out, which I found so helpful. But I'll put it in that video when I show those needles off. So it's been 36 minutes I've been talking, y'all. So I'm going to get off here, but I hope maybe me doing that egg while you're watching maybe helps a little bit. But the tutorial is camera down so you can actually see the stitches. But if you know how to single crochet, if you know how to slip stitch, if you know how to decrease 2 together, you're going to be fine on that. And if you don't know those stitches, there's all kinds of tutorials on YouTube you can look up, find them yourself, how to decrease, single crochet decrease. Just type it in and these videos will come up. You have this library of things you can pull from to learn. And then come back to the video. And also please check out Sam's video for her egg tutorials. Please check out all the other content creators for their hashtag spring 2026 cal, or hashtag spring cal 2026. But check out in my first video on this, it has a list of the content creators that are joining along, and find out their challenges, because some people are having giveaways, but you have to have, if you want to earn the patch for the whole thing, which Ranee does on the Woolly Llama, go to her channel to find out about the patches. But you can get on earning a patch, which is really cool. We are like the Patch Sisters. We all earn patches, and it's really fun to join in. And everybody's got a different spring make going, so you can get all kinds of creative ideas. And but anyway, I'll link the people that I talked about in this video in the description box so you can find them. But Missi's got this really cute bunny spinner thing that to hang outside, and she's made a whole 5-gallon bag of eggs, or maybe it's a gallon bag, I'm not sure, but it's a lot. And everybody, Ranee is doing bunny earrings, and you can make the big version of the bunny, or you can make the little earrings with the thread. I know that Amie, I'll link her in the description too, on Hooked on Wishing. I believe she's doing chickens. That's one I'm gonna do, because I want to make a bigger one, but she's making little chickens, so you can make earrings out of those too. But anyway, and of course Sam made the egg tree. So there is so much stuff you can get in on and do, and have some spring fun, and just get out of these doldrums that everybody's going through. That's my mom calling, so I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys are being little joy bombs in your corner of the world, sharing your craft, sharing your passion, sharing your joy. And if you can't do anything else while you're out and about today, running your errands, getting a latte, you know, just being out in the sunshine, make sure if you come across someone that you be sure to give them your best smile, because you don't know what they've been through, and your smile might be just what they need to turn their day around. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.